Rupa?
As I said, fantastic experience. So thank you for inviting us. I found both the meetings extremely helpful, and I'm sure my colleagues did as well. It actually is very thorough, though it doesn't feel like as formal as GIRFT, but the form I thought was quite good. It covers all areas, and it actually makes you step back and reflect on your service and also to think ahead as a group. And I think that exercise is very helpful, and we should be doing that every so often. In terms of just comments and feedback, maybe it was just for me, but I kept getting locked out of the form. So if there was a better way you could have that online form, it would help. Secondly, I think in logistics, dates, etc., GIRFT actually don't ask you to choose the dates. They give you 2 or 3 dates, and you just have to choose one of them. Maybe, Antonia, that might be a better way of working. And also, as Anna said, a very short checklist of who you want for the first meeting and who you would like for the second meeting. For this one, only this morning I realized that everybody hasn't got the invite. So I shared it with my colleagues because I'd kind of zoned out for the second one as to who needs to be there. And final point, particularly when out of this peer review, we are wanting to do stuff which involves funding streams, like we desperately want an endocrine MDT coordinator. If there was a way you could tag a peer review to GIRFT as an action point, then that may get us some traction and attention from our managers.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I've got several things to take away from this, and we'll discuss them certainly with John, because we need to get some legs on it, don't we? And that's a way of getting legs, obviously not north of the border or west of the border or across the sea, but yes, for us, absolutely. And just to follow up on what you said there, Rupert, who do you think should be invited to this meeting? Do you think it should be a broader meeting that your colleagues would value coming? I mean, arguably they can watch it on a Monday night should they wish, but
I think the list that GIRFT sends for their meeting, we've just had a gateway review, was the similar template I used for the first meeting, and I invited coder managers, etc., but not the coders. For this meeting, the second one, I think here you want mostly clinicians and nurses, is my feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy?
Well, I just wanted to add that in addition to the specifics of how helpful, I think, certainly speaking for us in Norwich, we will have found this, that there is also something broader and a little bit less specific, that this is just a very healthy piece of professional behaviour. You know, just there's a bit of soft benchmarking here, there's a bit of mutual support, and it's sort of anti-siloisation, and there is so much that retreating into our silos that goes on in medicine that I'm sure there'll be some softer and more difficult to measure benefits here, but nevertheless some very healthy behavioural, cultural, organisational benefits coming out of this. So thank you, Antonia. Thank you, everybody at the Society.
Actually, just to push that a little further, it would be interesting, particularly from a selling point, about trying to highlight the differences between GIRFT and peer review. I don't know if any have specific things, because you get different things out of them. And GIRFT, obviously, a lot of the targets are very surgical. So in this, we sort of tried to avoid focusing on surgical targets because we felt that that's been covered quite a lot. So knowing anything that you feel is different here that adds extra value that perhaps GIRFT isn't covering, and those softer things is important.
The best thing about peer reviews is being able to share experience with colleagues and to learn from each other. For the things that are going well, it's good to get reassurance and disseminate good practice. For the things that can be improved, it's good to put our heads together and offer useful, practical advice. With our busy daily lives, it's not always easy to have either the time or the bandwidth to think about how to improve our services. I would like to think that we managed to help colleagues through peer review. I certainly learned many things as a reviewer. If there are colleagues out there thinking of becoming a reviewer, I'd say go for it.